cosine B. What's definition? Opposite over hypotenuse. And what is my ratio? Okay. Cosine B abbreviation. Definition. And ratio. Tangent of B. Definition. And ratio. Okay. Biggest thing here is the adjacent side. Okay. The adjacent side touches the angle but is not the hypotenuse. So make sure you are not giving the hypotenuse as the adjacent side. The hypotenuse is always its own thing. Okay? Yes.
So would you never do, like, what if it was in the scene?
It's always in relation to the acute angle. And so that would be our right angle. Good question, though. Any questions before we turn the page? Okay. Alright. For example 1, we are finding the sine of A, cosine of A, tangent of A. Same thing for B, and expressing each ratio as a fraction. So leaving it in fraction form. Okay? So let's go sine A, cosine A, tangent A first. Okay, how do I find sine? Opposite over hypotenuse. Remember, so, ga, to, what? That's your acronym. You can write it at the top on everything. Okay, cosine, how do we find it? And tangent, how do we find it? Okay, so using angle A as our, what do we call this? Reference angle. Okay, sine of A opposite over hypotenuse is what? Very good. Okay, because opposite of A is 5, hypotenuse is always 13. Cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent. Awesome. Questions? Okay, go through and do cosine, or sine, cosine, and tangent of B. Go through and do B. Okay, sine of B. Cosine. And tangent. Awesome. Questions on that? Nope. Okay, with your group, tackle example 2. not have a calculator, grab one. Okay, what sign of S? Cosine of S? Tangent of S? Okay, moving on to reference angle E, sine of E? Cosine of E? Tangent of E? Awesome, pretty easy. Okay, so just remember SOHCAHTOA. It'll be your best friend. Alright, other times you will be able to use your calculator. Okay, there is a table on the last page of the note in the event that you don't have a calculator that can do trig. Okay, so in this column, the bolded numbers are the reference angles. The bolded numbers are the reference angles. Okay, why are they only 1 through 90?
Because 90 is sine. Everything about that.
They have to be acute angles, okay? That's why 90 is undefined. Anyway, so the bold numbers are always the reference angles, and then you just go to the appropriate category. So you have sine, cosine, and tangent. And you just find your reference angle and then scroll on over or move your finger and figure out which trig function you're using. But you will also have your calculator for tests, okay? You will not have to use a table on a test. So, for example A and B, okay, you'll use your calculator. Make sure when you go to mode that your calculator is in degree mode. Standard setting is in radian. Okay, so anytime you reset your calculator, it's going to go to radian. So on test day, if you do not put your calculator in degree mode, you'll get all wrong answers. Okay, so make sure you are using degree mode. Okay, after you've turned degree mode on, second quit, get back to the home screen, and all you do is use those three functions and type what you see. So for A, you would hit cosine 41, enter. It says round to the nearest thousandth, so how would you round that? 0.755. Yes.
Where do we change the mode?
Huh?
Where do you change that?
You press mode and it's the fourth row.
Wait, what did you type into the calculator?
Cosine of 41.
Right there.
Help your neighbors out if they don't have it. Okay, do the same thing for sine. Sine 78. Guys, to the nearest thousandth, what's the sine of 78? 978. Questions on the calculator? Okay, so most importantly, make sure you are in degree mode. Alright, so example 4, now we're finding missing measurement. Okay, we have 21 degrees, 69 degrees, and we need to know x. Okay, so using our reference angles, do you want to use 21 or 69? 21? Okay. So looking at reference angle 21. Okay, so that's the angle we have. Okay, what two sides do we have in reference to angle 21?
Opposite of hypotenuse.
We have the opposite and the hypotenuse. Okay, do we see that? We have opposite and hypotenuse. So if we have the opposite and the hypotenuse, which function should we be using? Sine. So we have sine of 21, right? Because our angle is no longer A and B, we actually have a degree there. Okay? So if I have sine of 21 equals, what is the opposite? X. What is the hypotenuse? 9. So how can I go about solving for X? What did you guys say?
Find what sine of 21 is and then put it equals to.
Okay, that, or before doing anything with the calculator, how do I get X by itself?
Multiply by 9.
Multiply both sides by 9. Okay, so that cancels, so now I have 9 sine of 21 equals X. And then just type that in your calculator, just like that. What do you get to the nearest thousandth?
3.2585.
So all you had to do is type in 9 before you typed in sine 21. Okay, what would you have done if you used 69 degrees? Okay, so if I use 69 degrees, which sides do I have? Adjacent and hypotenuse. So which trig function would I have to use for that? Cosine of 69. So I have cosine of 69 equals adjacent, which is x over hypotenuse, which is 9. So 9 cosine 69 equals x, and you should get the same thing. Okay, so it doesn't matter which reference angle you use. Just pick one and go with it. Okay, so try B. Challenge 2 people at your table to use 1 degree, and the other 2 people use the other degree. What's up? Yeah.
Oh yeah, near south. No wait, that is south. Yes.
I need to spin.
Oh, I definitely. Oh, I didn't. Oh, okay. It's fine.
Wait, for B, did you put 10.4?
Okay. I know, right? I see, I know, I know. Alright.
Do you want to hang out for a second? I'll let you know once it applies. Yeah, you can just sit in that chair up there. What time are y'all leaving? What time are y'all leaving? Okay. Okay, so you're not in like a super rush. Okay, she'll get back to me. Okay. Y'all. Okay, for letter B, those of you that use 37 degrees. What trig ratio did you use for 37 degrees? So cosine of 37 equals 13, or x over 13. Okay, so you have 13 cos 37. What about if you use 53?
Sine 53 equals x over 13.
Okay? So you could have done either or. You don't have to do both of them. Okay, and so what does x give you? Very good. Miranda, what's wrong?
No, it's fine, it's fine. We're talking about the next one, like why you can't. Why?
Oh, it's different. That's why. She said I gave it to the boys coach because I thought it was Mateus. Are you Mateus? Yeah.
Did she give it to the, because it wasn't in the field house office. She may have given it to like the.
Because I saw her walk over there, which makes me think she gave it to Hegman.
Oh my god.
Can you ask her what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Y'all. Whoa. Okay. I'm going to do C with you guys, and then you're going to do D. Okay? The hardest part of today is going to be these two problems, so please listen. Okay? And it's not because it's challenging, it's just algebra, but it's more challenging than just multiplying. Alright. So 54 degrees. Okay? That is our reference angle. If I'm trying to solve for x, okay, we'll eliminate y for now. I'm just trying to solve for x. What sides do I have? Adjacent and hypotenuse. So which trig ratio should I be using? Cosine. Okay, so I have cosine, Cliff. Yeah. Whoever it is. Cosine of 54 equals, what is adjacent? 8. What is hypotenuse? X. Okay, we'll worry about that in a second. Okay, let's figure out how we're going to get y. If I cover up my x, what sides do I have? So which one should I be using? Tangent. And what's my ratio?
Y over 8.
Okay, so this one was an easy one, right? Tangent of 54. Okay, so what does y equal for those of you that have already done it?
11.01.
Okay, the only reason this is difficult is because it takes 2 steps versus 1. Okay, how am I going to get x out of the denominator? How am I going to get x out of the denominator? Multiply both sides by x, right? So now I have x cosine 54 equals 8. Correct? Okay, now how do I get x by itself? So x equals 8 divided by the cosine of 54. And plug it into the calculator. Salazar. You're welcome. What do you get for x? Okay, work on D with your table.
How you multiply by 8? I have to get the whole, right? He divides this by this to get it to 1. Sorry, I'm doing it too. Divided by cosine. Then you plug that in. Kind of like it. Me too. It's not too bad. So, is it Jason? Is hypotenuse? Wait.
When you're finished, help the people around you. Make sure they know how to do C and D.
Oh, no, wait, what did you say? If you only but if you type it in, cosine of 5, then it'll say cover up. Yeah, but why is it right? Logically, it makes sense that you would say kind of sine of 50. Both of these are easy. Yeah. So it is 0.07.
All the time I was here, you always put that Leo on your trigonometry problem. Because I don't know how to find
Okay. Okay, if I cover up X. Okay. Guys, if I cover up X, what is Y in relation to 50? Adjacent. 11. Hypotenuse. So what is the equation to solve for X? Cosine of 50 equals Y over 11. Okay, so 11 cosine 50 equals Y. Okay, if I cover up Y, what do I have in relation to 50 degrees? Opposite and hypotenuse, which uses which function? Sine. So sine of 50 equals X over 11. So what is my equation? Okay, so what did you get for X? And what did you get for Y? Awesome. Questions? Cool. There's a lot of little side conversations going. Please stop. Okay, you need to make a reference angle of some sort. To make it easy, I always just do the bottom one. Okay, if I know that the tangent of theta is 5 over 12, how do I find tangent?
What did you say, theta?
Yeah, that's just what that symbol is.
Oh.
X, whatever you want to call it. It's just a Greek letter. Okay, so opposite is 5, so opposite of theta is 5. Adjacent is 12. How can I figure out what my hypotenuse is? Pythagorean theorem. Or if you know your triples, you know that the hypotenuse is what? 13. So 25 plus 144. Okay, now I have my triangle labeled. Okay, I have all three sides. So using the same reference angle, how do I find cosine? Adjacent over hypotenuse. So what is adjacent to my reference angle? 12, and my hypotenuse is 13. Okay, how do we find sine? Okay, so opposite of my reference angle is, and hypotenuse? 13.
And then if we knew what theta was, then you would say sine, and then that, and then set it equal and go through it again.
Okay, letter B, just so that we all have the same reference angles, let's use the bottom right one. With your group, do B and C. You're always going to have to solve for the third side.
What do you do if you don't have a calculator and then if your angle value has a decimal?
Well,
Okay. We're good. We're good. Because then you gotta do weird number crunching.
okay, what'd you guys get for the cosine in letter B? 4/5 and the tangent? Awesome. C, you're given the cosine. What was your missing side length? 7. Sine was what? And tangent? Awesome. Okay, any questions over the notes? Remember, the last page is just in the event that you don't have a calculator. Questions? Okay, you already have the homework. I'll hand back your test here in a little bit, but we are starting the skills check at 3:55. So you have 30 minutes. I'll put the key up on the board.